Good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Today, let's talk about Super Rey Sue's origin. I never got into Rey's parents too much, or her origin, which I'd like to talk about today. But first, by now, probably you might have heard that it seems J.J. Abrams did actually have different plans for Rey's parents, since she finds Luke's lightsaber and she gets this force-back vision from Bespin, and we hear Ben's voice, and she has the little doll and the rebel helmet, and it just really seemed like Rian Johnson just kind of did his own thing. And that would be okay if she was interesting and well developed and there was really some purpose or need for this nobody thing, but there wasn't really a need for it, because from what I recall, there wasn't really many complaints about the core structure of Star Wars, about the family bloodlines, and it seemed like the complaints were about the prequels mostly being for kids, and just, the face of the prequels and the CGI and things like that, but nobody complained about the story, about the Jedi-mentor relationship, about anyone being connected. So those complaints didn't exist. I think what we have here is a case of trying to fix something that's not broken with these new movies. There's one particular scene that's not incredibly important, but it's the scene when Kylo Ren kind of throws this hissy fit and cuts up the computer boards with a lightsaber after one of the First Order guys tells him, Finn was down on Jakku. And then after that, the First Order guy goes, he was with a girl. And Kylo force grabs the guy and pulls him forward and he goes, "What girl?" And it seemed like at that point he had a clue on who Rey was, and he was really interested in who this girl was. And if she was just some random nobody, would they set that up like that? It seemed like Kylo sensed something. The scene just doesn't make so much sense at that point. If he sensed she was a relative, or he knew she was a lost student of Luke's, or, then maybe what girl? Could it possibly be her? And, it's a mess. It's also about just ignoring overall investment people have. It's no new news that Disney Lucas right now, and who isn't really trying to please the older fans, but if you're invested in a story and then they just kind of shoehorn in somebody who's just has no relation or nothing at all, it's not going to sit as well, and just not going to feel as good for most of the fans. Game of Thrones is a very different series, but it's a popular series. It's been around for 20 years now, at least in book form, and it had millions of readers. So what if the last book comes out, the last season comes out, and instead of Jon Snow or Daenerys or Jaime Lannister, they have a new character, and this new character is like, "I'm gonna fight the Night King," and Jaime and Jon and Tyrion and Daenerys is like, "Yeah, we're out of it. We'll help you out, nobody." And then this actual nobody, beats the Night King, or just kind of shows up Jon and Daenerys. It would be pretty ridiculous. It wouldn't sit well. Even if the nobody had a good story, even if it was done well, it just wouldn't feel that good, let alone being done pretty poorly. So the other thing is, it's too early to have her as a nobody, because they could have just as well finished episode 7, 8, and 9 and had Luke and Han and Leia together like Mark Hamill had wanted, apparently, and all of us wanted pretty much. But it seems premature. There's no reason for a nobody to be in episode 7, because this movie is sold to us as episode 7, 8, and 9. It's not sold to us as a new beginning for the trilogy. For example, A New Beginning episode 1. In that case, if it's just kind of a, reset and they just want to have the old characters as cameos, that's better. But this was marketed and kind of sold to us as a continuation of 1 through 6. And inserting a nobody into that makes less sense. Just as a reminder, from my Mary Sue list I found, one of the things about being a Mary Sue is not having any parents or not having any canon friends. So just a reminder is that not only is her being a nobody kind of frustrating for some people, but it is more evidence towards her being a Mary Sue. And of course, we have episode 9, so now that we've got Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams playing ping pong with the script, maybe J.J. will now turn around and say to Rian Johnson, hey, now it's going to be my way, and he'll, do what he originally intended to do with Rey. So, we'll see. We still got episode 9. I know I say that every freaking video, but let's see what happens moving forward. Since we're on the topic, Finn and Poe also have no relation to anybody. So not only Rey, but the other 2 main characters that they've created for us have no connection. I mean, not yet. I mean, maybe it turns out that Poe is Leia's long-lost son, or who knows. Finn, I have no idea who he could possibly be connected to, but we'll see. They could be Lando. I mean, of course, probably not. It's kind of a long shot. But the point is, they have no connection either. Finn didn't even know anybody from the old trilogy. Just nothing at all. And again, there's really no reason to have just 3 nobodies, actually. Not yet. We have the rest of our lives and the rest of their lives to make movies that are completely unconnected. And once, episode 9 was over, they could have, of course, gone with nobodies, and that would be perfectly fine. But, nah, not really buying it, not liking it. So, any comments welcome. See you next time. Alright,